Welcome back, everyone, to another Elden Ring boss review. Sticking with this theme I've got going of super generic names like Mad Pumpkinhead and Black Knife Assassin, today I'm talking the Beastman of Farum Azula. And granted, I'm not far enough to know whether that name has any importance later on, but I'm going to go ahead and make fun of his name anyway. Like, why not just call Elden Ring the role-playing game of From Software? But you know what? That game would probably still sell millions of copies. So maybe FromSoft could have saved some money on their ad campaign. But you know who shouldn't be skimping on an ad campaign? The Beastman of Farum Azula. This guy does nothing to distinguish himself or sell himself. Like, I was a bit tired at this point of the game of these little tiny dungeons and their unspectacular boss fights. And so when this generic looking Beastman with a generic sounding beast name showed up and killed me 0 times, I think my brain just lazily filed him away as an awful boss fight. But the brain can be wrong sometimes. Because watching this footage, I realized that this guy ain't so different from me. I mean, I do YouTube videos in an oversaturated gaming market, and he does boss fights in an oversaturated Limgrave market. And the common thread for us is that we show great passion for our work. His effort level is insane, and he is crazy persistent. Like, he rarely stops after one task. Almost all of his attacks are a part of a combo. He's even got this crazy 6 attack combo. Granted, sometimes he ends up looking silly when he's doing that move and no one's around, but that's okay, he's working hard. We all look stupid sometimes. I mean, I'm pretty sure half of my jokes in this video have been terrible. And even when it's not a combo, it's usually some very aggressive or powerful attack like this 2-handed slam of his machete. But I'm still not sure what this scream actually accomplishes. Now, none of this is very unique, but that sense of persistence and aggression is fun to deal with. Like, it's pretty challenging to avoid being damaged in this fight the first time you go through it, because he doesn't really defend himself. He keeps coming at you. It's like he has one strategy. He's just waiting for you to make mistakes. And I made plenty of mistakes. I'd mistime the end of a combo, I'd try to attack when I shouldn't, or I'd try to block instead of rolling. In many ways, this feels kinda like a slower version of a Bloodborne fight, but watching footage from Bloodborne really highlights how uninspired this guy's look is. But we'll criticize his looks later. First, let's talk about the challenge. He's aggressive, but he's an early game boss, and so thankfully his attacks all have a slow windup due to his hefty machete. This gave me time to figure out how effective the jump attack is against him, and thanks to that, and the fact that I was so over-leveled since I fought him 13 hours and 48 minutes into the game, I didn't die once. And I'm betting that that's way later than most people encountered him. I mean, if you go straight north from the tutorial, the Groveside Cave where he makes his home is right there. But I imagine that he was actually like the first or second boss for many players and not the 5th boss like he was for me. But let me know in the comments, when did you guys fight him, and was he tough for you guys or was he still easy? I'm thinking that my first impressions of him were a little bit lower than they should have been, partly because of how overpowered I was when I finally got to him. But I don't know, am I being too soft on this beast, man? I mean, the Bloodstarved Beast from Bloodborne also has Beast in his name, but the visual design is worlds apart. This is literally just a feral beast. Like, he looks like a werewolf wearing a cloak. And cloaks are kind of done to death now. I mean, the Erdtree Burial Watchdog, the Mad Pumpkinhead, and the Black Knife Assassin all wore cloaks. Sure, this guy has some fun tassels on his cloak, and he is wearing a bandana that I only noticed when I made the thumbnail for this video. But despite those quirks, this guy feels like an enemy I've fought in every action RPG ever. But at least he makes some sounds, which is a step up from the Black Knife Assassin. But maybe silence is a virtue, because this guy just keeps making the same sound over and over. So, are those growls supposed to be intimidating, or is he just trying to psych himself up? Bah, bah, bah. I don't know, feels kind of silly. Now I'm being a bit hard on him. You can't expect him to have all these nuanced and different grunts during an attack. I mean, that would be like complaining that Serena Williams sounds identical on every return. But that gives me an idea. Nah, that sucks. Whatever you think of his sound design, props to him for his home decor. He's taken a generic cave and spruced it up with some dead Godrick soldiers. Now, I don't know if he had outside help from some other nefarious creatures in this renovation, but I do like this bit of environmental storytelling. I get the feeling that Godrick soldiers came hunting for this bad boy, or maybe he came into one of their camps and tore them up. Regardless of who came after who, there seems to be some animosity between Godrick and Farum Azula. I wonder, did the soldiers come to grab that Flame Drake talisman that this guy drops? I mean, it kind of makes sense. When you fight Godrick many hours later, we do see him kind of defiled his dragon head, so it wouldn't surprise me if his organization had serious anti-dragon sentiment. I also wonder, why is the Beastman in possession of this talisman? Are the Beast people of Farum Azula at war with dragons? Or do they hail from a fiery land where they just need protection from fire? Regardless, when I got this item, I was like, when would I ever need this? And then literally 5.5 minutes later, I met this guy who killed me with one flame breath attack. But that's a video for another day. It's time to rate the Beastman of Farum Azula. Overall, I do think he's subpar, but that's almost entirely based on his aesthetic design. Like, this is as uncreative as FromSoft gets with bosses. But gameplay-wise, I actually like his aggression. It makes it a more dynamic boss fight. It's a much quicker boss fight. Of the 5 bosses I've beaten, this was by far the fastest. I beat him in 1 minute and 43 seconds. And it's not overly frenetic like the fight against the demi-human chiefs. So I still would say the Beastman is subpar, but he's right on that threshold of being a good boss. So I give him a 2 out of 5, but it's a high 2, which is why he rampages his way up to number 3 in my boss ranking so far. It's probably frustrating for all of these guys that they're going to start dropping really quickly as I get to the actual amazing bosses in this game. But it's probably more frustrating for you guys because so far, all the bosses I've reviewed have been, for the most part, standard enemies just with a boss meter. But I promise some really great bosses are right around the corner. The next one's going to be on the ulcerated tree spirit, which I'm really pumped to do because he's the first boss that I'm going to review that's actually kind of epic. But I also want to start expanding and doing more games and more boss reviews. I'd like to do other FromSoft bosses, and I'm currently playing The Witcher 3 and Resident Evil 2, and I'm tinkering with the idea of doing the boss fights from those games. So let me know if that'd be something you'd be interested in. And please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.